In December of 2025, Consumer Reports teamed up with Groundwork Collaborative and More Perfect Union to run a real-world test. Dozens of shoppers checked prices on identical grocery items at the same store at the same exact moment using Instacart. The result, nearly 75% of the items showed different prices depending on who was ordering, with gaps as high as 23% for the exact same product, from the exact same store, in the exact same minute. I want to be precise here, because precision matters. What happened on Instacart is confirmed. It's been investigated by multiple state attorneys general and by federal regulators, and it's already sparked a wave of new legislation. But the bigger question isn't just what happened on a delivery app, it's what's happening right now, in person. When you walk down a physical grocery aisle and look at a price tag. Because those tags are changing, and the technology that makes personalized, variable pricing possible is already being installed in Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods, and Amazon Fresh locations across the country as you're watching this. So let's break down where this is happening, what the technology can actually do, how lawmakers are responding, and what you can actually do about it. Welcome back. This channel is all about pantry preparedness. Let's start with the technology, because understanding it makes everything else click. It's called an electronic shelf label, or ESL. You've probably already seen these without realizing what they were. They're small digital screens, roughly the size of a standard price tag, that replace the paper stickers on store shelves. Instead of an employee manually printing and swapping a sticker, the digital version updates automatically over a wireless connection tied to the store's central computer system. On the surface, this sounds genuinely useful, and in a lot of ways it is. Prices update faster. Employees aren't spending hours peeling off old tags. Shelf prices stay in sync with what's charged at the register. All true. But here's the other side of it. These digital labels are capable of changing prices up to 6 times in a single minute. That's not an exaggeration. Reporting from Buffalo Toronto Public Media and CNBC confirms that's the technical capability of the current generation of devices being rolled out in U.S. stores. In practice, that means the price you see when you walk in could be different from the price on that same shelf 10 minutes later. Because the system is centralized and digital, it can theoretically adjust pricing based on almost any input a retailer chooses: time of day of the week, store traffic, even the demographics of the neighborhood the store sits in. And here's the part that has legislators most concerned: individual shopper data pulled from loyalty accounts, apps, and purchase history. So for everyone who's ever said I'm not giving them my phone number, this is exactly why. The technology doesn't just enable faster pricing updates, it enables personalized pricing. Whether stores are actually doing that today is disputed. That they can is not. Here's where things stand by chain. Walmart is rolling out electronic shelf labels to all 4,600 of its U.S. locations by the end of 2026, and we're already past the halfway mark of the year. They extended their contract with digital label provider Fusion Group back in December 2024 specifically to speed this up. Kroger already has electronic shelf labels active in roughly 1 in 4 of its stores nationwide, an estimated 650 to 700 locations, according to the Cincinnati Enquirer. Whole Foods and Amazon Fresh are already using ESLs broadly, which isn't surprising given that Amazon runs one of the largest data collection and algorithmic pricing operations in the world. And regional chains like Schnucks in the Midwest have adopted the technology too. The global market for these labels was valued around $1.85 billion in 2024 and is projected to hit $54 billion by 2033, according to Grandview Research. This isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. To be fair to the retailers, here's what they're saying. Kroger states it does not and has never engaged in surge pricing, and says the tags are only updated to match the company's website pricing or weekly promotions. Walmart says the technology simply lets employees update prices through a mobile app, cutting a process that used to take an associate 2 days down to minutes, and denies using it for surge pricing or individual targeting. Both companies frame this as an efficiency play, freeing staff from manual price tag swaps so they can spend time on other tasks. That's a reasonable explanation. But two things can be true at once. The stores may not currently be surge pricing individual shoppers, and the infrastructure to do exactly that now exists inside physical stores. Which brings us to the case where personalized pricing was already confirmed, not theorized, but documented. That's the Instacart investigation from Consumer Reports, Groundwork Collaborative, and More Perfect Union in December 2025. For anyone unfamiliar, Instacart is a third-party delivery platform. A personal shopper goes into your local store, picks your order, and delivers it. But pricing runs through Instacart's app, not the store's own register. When researchers had multiple shoppers place identical orders from the same store at the same time, prices differed on nearly 75% of items, with some gaps reaching 23%. In practical terms, you and your neighbor order the same pound of ground beef from the same Kroger at the same moment, and one of you pays $6.75 while the other pays $8.30. Same product, same store, same minute different price, based on data the platform had already collected about each of you. A separate analysis estimated that this kind of algorithmic pricing could cost some households roughly $1,200 more per year than others. The fallout was fast and bipartisan. On December 17, 2025, Representative Sylvia Garcia sent a formal letter to Instacart CEO demanding an explanation. In January 2026, New York Attorney General Letitia James warned Instacart that its pricing disclosures violated the state's new Algorithmic Pricing Disclosure Act. In March 2026, the House Oversight Committee sent document requests to Instacart, along with similar letters to Booking.com, Expedia, Lyft, and Uber. The California Attorney General opened an investigation. The FTC, which had already been running a broader surveillance pricing study since mid-2024, opened a dedicated inquiry into Instacart's pricing tool. Instacart responded by halting all item-level price testing on its platform, and Wegmans pulled out of the pricing pilot program it had been part of. That's the good news, the pressure worked. But the underlying technology hasn't disappeared. It simply moved from delivery apps into the stores themselves through electronic shelf labels. Let's talk loyalty cards for a second, because I don't think most people fully understand the trade-off. When you sign up for a Kroger Plus card, a Walmart Plus membership, or any loyalty program, you're agreeing to share your shopping history in exchange for discounts. Every purchase, every promotion you use, builds a profile tied to your account. That profile reveals how price-sensitive you are, whether you buy name brand or generic, your likely household size, when in the month you tend to shop, which can hint at when your paycheck lands, and which categories you buy most.
The FTC's preliminary surveillance pricing study found that companies can use this kind of behavioral data to infer things like emotional state, purchase intent, and financial sensitivity, then price accordingly. A shopper who buys the same brand regardless of sales signals low price sensitivity. A shopper who always switches to the cheaper option when something goes on sale signals the opposite. The algorithm adjusts. Your loyalty card earns you discounts, but it also tells the store exactly how far your price tolerance goes. Now, for the genuinely good news, the legislative response has moved faster than almost any consumer protection effort in recent memory. More than 24 states have introduced over 40 bills targeting surveillance pricing. Maryland was first. On April 28, 2026, Governor Wes Moore signed House Bill 895, the Protection from Predatory Pricing Act, banning surveillance pricing at grocery stores. It takes effect October 1st, 2026, and applies to food retailers 15,000 square feet or larger, plus third-party delivery services, preventing them from using personal data to charge an individual a higher price. It covers tax-exempt groceries, not alcohol or prepared food. Consumer advocates note a loophole. Stores could raise base prices for everyone and offer loyalty member discounts, producing a similar effect through a different mechanism. Still, it's the first law of its kind in the country. Connecticut followed on June 4, 2026, with a stronger version signed by Governor Ned Lamont. It applies to all retailers and delivery services, not just grocery, and requires a specific disclosure that a price was set by an algorithm using personal data whenever surveillance pricing is used. The Electronic Privacy Information Center called it a meaningful improvement over Maryland's approach. New York has 2 tracks running. The Algorithmic Pricing Disclosure Act took effect November 10, 2025, already requiring businesses using algorithmic pricing to post a clear disclosure near the price. Separately, the One Fair Price Act passed the state legislature in June 2026 and is now awaiting the governor's signature, with Attorney General Letitia James publicly pushing for it. Elsewhere, California's Assembly Bill 2564 passed the Assembly and moved to the state Senate, proposing fines up to $12,500 per violation, the steepest penalty proposed anywhere in the country. New Jersey and Pennsylvania have advanced similar grocery-focused bills. Illinois, Colorado, and more than 20 other states have legislation in progress. Colorado actually passed a bill, but Governor Jared Polis vetoed it in June 2026, not because he opposed the idea, but because it was broader than groceries, covering wages and other industries, which drew pushback from tech lobbyists as overreach. At the federal level, Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona introduced a national One Fair Price Act, with co-sponsors from New York and New Jersey, aimed at preventing companies from using personal data to set individual prices nationwide. The FTC has continued its investigation and found that the intermediary companies supplying this kind of pricing software work with at least 250 clients spanning grocery to apparel. Senators Elizabeth Warren, Ben Ray Loon, and Jeff Merkley have specifically named Kroger in warning letters about surveillance pricing risk. From a December 2025 news story to laws passed in multiple states within about 6 months, that pace, in this political climate, is genuinely unusual. So what does this mean for your grocery budget? The unit price is still your best defense. Full stop. Whether the tag is paper or digital, stores are required to display a price per ounce, per pound, or per count. That number is the most honest one on the shelf. Even if a store adjusts the total price, the unit price moves with it, so if your regular pasta jumps from 8 cents an ounce to 11 cents, you'll see it, even if the package price looks unchanged because the package itself got smaller. Check the unit price on everything, every time. As for loyalty cards, you don't need to cancel them. For most households, the discounts are real savings. Just understand what you're trading for them. Most stores let you view your own purchase history through your loyalty account, so you can see exactly what data they're holding. Some programs let you limit third-party data sharing, though this varies by chain, so it's worth checking your store's privacy settings. And if a price at checkout ever differs from the shelf price, you're entitled to ask for the shelf price. Most states have scanner accuracy laws requiring retailers to honor it.